Hi, René here. In this episode, I'm reporting a case of high-end exorcism. I want thee, Satan. I want thee, Satan. In this previous video, a compassionate subscriber wrote the following comment. For a while, I was beginning to think only an exorcist can solve your problem. This was meant to be a joke, but I experienced a real case of exorcism in my listening room, and I'm going to tell you about it in detail. I'm still looking for another specialist who can carry out a second ceremony for my phono pre in a JP30, but let me talk about the one that was successfully performed recently. 3 weeks after the putative success of the Mainz8, I wanted to get to the bottom of the dubious mystery and unplugged all of my devices. Then I connected my old filter to the live audio outlet. This is the power strip I had been using for many years with no hum or noise of any kind ever. I reconnected all my pieces of equipment step by step. The power supply of the JP30, the JA30 monoblocks. For the CD player, I used my live audio signature and for the power supply of the turntable, a regular AC cord. After that, I checked the RCA ports of the JA30 if the connection was really tight. On the device which Audio Absolute had already repaired, it was okay, but oh my god, now the other one had started to become waggy. It seems Jadis cannot even do the basic things orderly and reliably. Let's not forget, these are devices for tens of thousands and not any Chinese no-name products for $500. Now I switched on the power supply The red LED on the preamp lit up to indicate the warm-up phase was in progress. Step 2. The power amps. After that I was waiting for the notorious Jadis she-bear sound, and my heart, weakened by the stress of almost half a year after the purchase, was prepared for another encounter with this type of sound. But nothing happened. Mr. Vipol from Audio Absolute had explained to me in detail that my power strip was a nuisance, way too many plugs and all the 50cm AC cords leading away from it worked like antennas which attracted high-frequency disturbances and so on and so forth. I knew that these cables were nicely shielded, but I kept quiet and did not argue because after so many months of problems, I was devastated and demoralized And on the other hand, I was caught napping and was swept away by the apparent success of his demonstration. Deep in his heart, he must be an exorcist in disguise, because he rather believed in his own miracle and did not question it, although, as a highly trained technician, he should have doubted the achievement. Maybe he had brought some powder scratched from the devil's claw and furtively blown it into the electrical system of my home. But the unquestionable result of my comparison was that my old power strip and filter worked 100% the same as the Mainz8. I had wasted a lot of money in vain, at least as far as the hum is concerned. I'm not talking about any sound improvements in this presentation, because that is a different matter. Suddenly, a hope was rising in my heart that the same miracle might work for the hum of the phono part. I turned the selector, but alas, alas, this kind of hum remained. It was forged in a different furnace. I would like to call it the Jadis furnace, made in France. I will report about it in my next video.
I can't tell you why this happened. I just can't.
Had something miraculously or chiropractically adjusted itself in the JP30? Or did the electricity supplier press a secret button on that historical day? Nobody will ever know. I leave the answer up to you. My head is spinning. I quit. How can an amateur and a layman like me dare discuss a problem when the venerable knowledge of respectable texts is compromised and ridiculed in such a way? The case is even more grave and touching the realm of ghost hauntings when we consider the fact that the nut could not even be cracked by a professional high-end team. At least not before the nut vanished by itself in a ghostly manner. Anyway, at that point of time, everything was in vain. So much work, so much money wasted just to see the problem vanish into thin air. But hang on for a minute. One disaster follows the other. Now I have an even more plaguing, nerve-wracking, stubborn hum from the phono pre in the JP30. But this is another cup poisoned by the French manufacturer, and I will report about it in my next episode here on René's Soundlife. Stay tuned. I hope to see you again.